lot more than that now.
Yeah, so many. Hey boys, you want to go talk to Bowman first?
Um, we could. Jack here is choosing to invoke his Fifth Amendment right, though, to remain silent. So.
All right, let's go. Yeah, it's fine. Well, we'll talk to Bowman then if that's fine. We're getting some shit sorted out in the back end as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not too worried about Higgins.
You can walk and all that.
Can somebody get Higgins a drink? He's
What?
Higgins. You got that, Jess? Thanks. Hey. Let me just double check that camera's on. Looks like it's on, right, boys?
Yeah, it seems to be on.
All right, fantastic. Just so the record knows, I'm Sergeant Connor Stubble with the Cerberus Police Department. To my side, this is Han Velsing. Rank, I believe, is just a peacekeeper.
Correct.
Peacekeeper. You're also with the Cerberus Police Department. Today we're with Oscar Bowman. Oscar, could you repeat your state ID just for the tape?
Oscar Bowman, state ID 2450.
And your current job and title?
Current job title is Warden. I'm acting Warden since the Warden passed away in the Department of Corrections.
Fantastic. The date is currently the 3rd of December. My opinion is the 4th, but pedantics, dates. We are here currently to talk about some situation that transpired after the funeral of one Charles Lafayette. We also have the legal representation, William Stout. Stout, I don't know, you want to do an intro? You want to be like, yo, what's good? Shout out the Instagram.
William Stout, state ID 31818. Bar license for 8 months, 9 months now, maybe longer.
All right, fantastic. All right, so you're aware of your rights, the fact that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in the court of law. The right to an attorney present, if you can afford one, will be appointed to you free of charge by the state of San address, if available. Is the rights that I've read them to you, do you understand them, Mr. Bowman?
Loud and clear.
All right, fantastic. Are you invoking any of those rights? Obviously, we have an attorney present.
I might answer some questions. I might not answer some questions.
That's perfectly fine. So, let's start off with the funeral ended. What happened next?
There was a lockdown shortly after, but I'm not sure how long after. I was stood up on North Box for a good while, bawling my eyes out.
Understandable, it's been a tough time.
Yeah.
So in the South Box, you're bawling your eyes out, you're not really involved with
North Box.
the North Box,
so
not South Box,
yep.
North Box. So North Yard, just next to Lafayette's grave.
Yeah.
So you're bawling your eyes out. The riot happens. What happens next?
We were on the way out of prison when the lockdown started.
Who was we?
I mean, there were like I'm not sure how many guards. There were a lot of guards in skate park at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Chewie was standing over by AdSec speaking to Jeremy. I want to say Candle, former Captain Sparrow Velsing, and I want to say Velsing was there. I'm not sure how much later the lockdown happened. It can be anywhere from like 20 minutes to an hour. Austin Barrett was also in the skate park. Andrew Hannaford, Jack Higgins. This might be maybe 15 minutes after the funeral had happened.
Okay. Is this when you left the prison?
No, I left maybe 10 minutes later. I'm not sure how long it was.
And who did you leave the prison with?
I clocked off duty alone and drove back to my home, but I didn't really leave with anybody.
Once you're at your home, did you link up with anybody?
I mean, me and Higgins had spoken about just after the funeral if we were gonna go to my beach house, but we decided to meet up at McNation's house to be closer to Charles. So that's where we went.
And how long were you at McNation's house with Higgins?
That must have been 10 minutes. I'm not even sure. I didn't really track the time.
10 minutes from when you arrived at McNation's house to when myself and Han arrived.
When you and I were on the phone the first time, or maybe it was only one time, I was still at my house on the way to McNation's.
Okay.
Since Higgins, I think he lives with McNation. I'm not entirely sure.
I see. All right. It kind of we got a little timeline there built up. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I got a few just questions. Some will be related to each other. Some won't be. You obviously already said you might invoke your right to remain silent. Remember, you can do that. You don't have to answer them all. So take your time before you do so. Department of Corrections, standard loadout, lethal firearm. What is the lethal firearm you would have?
I mean, we're working the SOPs, but it would be outside of Gen Pop. You would have the Glock, you would have your taser, your flashlight, taser cartridges, IFAKs, your radio, watch.
While on duty today, did you have any of your lethal firearms on your person?
Yes.
Okay, and where are they right now?
Unsure.
So you clocked off duty and you don't know where you put your lethals?
I mean, they should be in my locker.
Should be in your locker. Would that include a class 2 or just going to be a class 1?
There's gonna be a scar. Unsure how worn it is. I think I've had it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly a few other class 2 weapons from a different time. A couple of months old or so.
Ghosts of Christmas Past, the old MP7 and M4, things like that. Oh, yes. Remember it very fondly. What about any Glocks?
MK14.
Any Glocks in your locker?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Did you have a Glock on your person today at the funeral?
I did.
What about when you're in the North Box, taking your own time?
I may have put it away.
Where would you
but
put
I
it
may
away?
have had it on me. There was a DUC car with catering for the prison, so I could have put it there, but I could have still had it on me at that time.
Where would you have put it inside of the car?
In my evidence locker.
Safe and secure. Like the locked storage that Peter used. Ain't no one could get in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I got some questions that are just going to cut straight to the point. Have you been to the skate park at all today?
Yes, you need to cross the skate park to get into North Box from the shared motor pool. It's in the middle of prison.
What about MACSEC or ADSEC? Cell block, I believe, 4.
I have not been in ADSEC today, no.
The inmate Jeremy Phillips was the murderer of Charles Lafayette, and he's been in MACSEC for the last, 3, 4, 5 days. Have you visited him at all in this time?
Yes, I met with him yesterday and spoke to him, trying to understand why he...
His intention?
Yeah.
Did you get anything from him?
He places the blame on other lifers, while also saying that he did it, so I'm not sure if he knows what happens or if it all happened so fast in the office that we were in. Because Charles was stabbed in cell block 7. So,
Okay.
and it's really only 2 lifers' side of the story, and I can't really piece it together.
So, sides of the story, you're trying to piece it together. That's the problem you've got right now.
Yeah.
That's something I can relate to. So, you're telling me you didn't speak to Jeremy at all today?
I have spoken to Jeremy today, yes.
Where was that? This conversation.
It was Chewie approached me because he was charging Jeremy for felony trespassing, so it would be by Adsec Gate. I was on Skatepark side.
I'm sorry. Jeremy was being
Chewie-
charged with felony trespassing.
Jeremy had broken out of Gen Pop during the wedding, and guards were handling several other inmates that didn't return to Gen Pop after the funeral.
So you just said wedding. Do you mean funeral, or was there a
Yeah, I
separate
meant
wedding that
funeral.
happened?
No, I meant funeral.
Oh, it's understand. They're very much the same thing. It signifies
Yeah,
the loss of
I'm
freedom.
I'm thinking back about Amelia's wedding that was in Adsec, where Charles got stabbed 5 months ago.
Jesus.
So it's yeah.
Okay, so Jeremy was being charged with trespassing. Stout, you don't really know, but inside the prison, they kind of adopt the same penal code, and if a lifer commits that crime, they kind of have a multiplier for how long they go into MaxSac. You know, let's say you attempt to murder a employee, and the outside is 45 months. If you do that in prison, times 3, so it's around 150 in MaxSac. It's different per each crime. So Jeremy broke out of, was it Gen Pop or MaxSac while the funeral was happening?
I believe he was in Gen Pop, but he should have been kept in
So the
Adsec.
local
Sometimes
guard let
local
him out.
DUC,
Yeah.
So
Yep.
he somehow broke out. Somebody may have forgot to lock the gate when
Mhm.
they brought Mick back to the funeral. We just heard calls that Jeremy was sitting, I believe he was sitting in the motor pool, like in the main straight by the intake, like the motor pool fence.
So which guard was it that brought him back to MaxSac? Chewie, did you say?
I'm gonna assume Alan Chudansky since he did the charging.
And
Well,
you
we
went
don't
over
charge,
to the
but we
yeah, worked out how. So did you go over to the gate while Mr. Chudansky was getting that sorted?
No, I was still up at North Box when all of this happened. I needed time to
Yes.
recover.
Mm-hmm. So when did you approach the gate?
When Chudansky told me that Jeremy wanted to speak with me.
Okay. Did you guys speak with each other for, long?
I couldn't tell you how long. I have no recollection of how long it took.
It was an emotional time. Don't worry about it if your
Yeah.
time frames are all over the place. The conversation ended. You don't have to tell me about what the conversation's about if you don't want to.
I prefer not to say.
That's fine. After the conversation ended, how long until the riot started? The one where you left the prison while the lockdown began.
Yeah, I was on the way. I think I had just passed the first gate to shared motor pool when guards, I think it was 723 John Vici, might have been 782 Stella Brand, I don't remember, said that there's a lot of shivs in cell block 7. And then I believe Chudansky also went inside, and I'm not sure if he got stabbed.
He didn't. He's fine.
He's fine. Okay, thanks.
So some guy, like pale guy with red facial hair, I think he got stabbed.
Yeah, that's John Vici.
Yeah, he was okay as well. He was conscious. Don't worry about that.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so you wrap up your conversation with Jeremy. You do a nice, slow, dramatic walk over to airlock shed park, and you get in your car. So when you start hearing the stabbing happening, you get to what? Visitation. You probably start hearing lockdown, and you sign yourself off duty, and you go to your house.
Everybody was running inside, but I couldn't stay on duty. It had already been a long day.
Yeah,
So
it's understood.
yeah, so that's when I left.
You didn't hear anything crazy while you were having your conversation with Jeremy? Any loud noises?
Somebody did call on radio that there were shots on the South Hill, which from your and mine conversation previously would
You can
be,
probably understand what that was.
yeah, gunshots. I don't know how many, but there were gunshots from the South Hill.
All right.
Yeah.
Time for a dramatic revelation, Bowman. So while these gunshots in the South Hill happened, there were also other gunshots heard throughout the prison. Shortly after
Okay.
the riot had ended, you had obviously still been off duty at this point. Jeremy was found in Maxsack, bleeding from the head, suffering from bullet wounds from a pistol at close range.
Okay.
You know nothing
Is he
about
Is he
that.
okay? No.
At this time, I'm going to remind you of your Fifth Amendment right, sir.
I'll remain silent.
Thank you.
He is okay. Evidence was collected on scene. There were, I believe, 4, maybe 5 casings to a pistol. A PD-issued Glock. See where I'm going with this?
Can you explain it to me?
I'll put it to it very plainly. When somebody purchases a Glock from the armory, be it at Davis PD, be it at SCSP PD, SDSO, or Bolingbrook Penitentiary, the armorers that work in these armories will note down the serial on a Glock when they give it to someone. Be it a prison guard, be it a cadet, be it a warden, a grand marshal, a chief of police. Every single serial number is noted down, similar to how the MP5s are noted down. And the noted down serial number that the casings and projectiles pulled out of Jeremy's head, well, the serial number came back to you, Bowman.
And what do you want to tell me with this information?
Well, I want to know why Jeremy was gunned down at point blank range with your gun.
I'll remain silent for this one.
Know nothing about it.
Nope.
Would you consent to a search of your locker to check your pistols that are currently inside of it? To see if it matches to any of the casings? We can step out of the room if you want to talk to your lawyer about that.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Yeah.
Be a short conversation.
Yep. Just dial the number.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Han. I think we're gonna have to write a search and seizure warrant for a fucking locker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Today just keeps going, huh?
Wait until I tell you the full story.
Well, what do you think?
Well,
I mean, is the full
Honest
story gonna
opinion-
stop anything?
no, but it's gonna give you context to some of the other stuff that's been going on.
But is the context gonna matter? I feel like I already understand the context there.
It's
Lafayette.
not going to matter, but
Why don't you just fucking tell me then?
because I can't hear, I can't with phones because they're listening.
Tara said the same shit. Ain't no one listening.
Yeah, Taro knows the full story.
Would Tara still charge Bowman with the crimes for shooting Jeremy? If I wasn't
don't
here, would
know.
you?
I might not. But the full context wouldn't change that. That's because I want nothing more than to see Jeremy dead from all the pain that he has caused me and all the pain he has caused everyone around me. I'm not gonna pull the trigger, but I also can't pull myself to handle and provide consequences to those that do.
Well, that's the beauty of Jeremy being something that happened after I left. I don't have that bias.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what the beauty is the beauty that you do have the power to spearhead a death penalty case against Jeremy. You're a cop. You have victims. You have witnesses. You have logs. You have guards. You have behavioral patterns. Probably have psychologists. You have motives. You have proof and evidence.
Is I can't pull myself to do it because it would be the plain definition of malicious prosecution. Hello. All right, sounds good. They're ready.
Gonna get started on the warrant while I talk.
Yeah, I can start writing something up.
All right, let me make sure. Recording back on. Sorry, it's motion censored, so it stops recording when I step out the room. But I have to voice. I have to voice censor to turn it back on. So it's voice on, censor off. Crazy.
How can we get that for prison? That would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
You guys should get one of those clappers, you know?
Oh, yes, a clapper. That would be good. So, how are we feeling? What are we thinking?
Sure, you can check my locker. It's gonna be evidence 702.
702? I haven't moved over.
No.
Do you have any sub-lockers? Me personally, I use 345, 345.1 through 5.
No, it should be in the 702.
And don't tell anyone, but I still use 703 point something. It's a secret.
Don't tell anyone, but Charles used 718 up until very
This
recent.
guy.
Okay, well I knew that one.
There's a lot of people that did that. Cassidy really didn't want to lose 789. That was her jam.
The other secret that I've been doing is I just use my name.
That's what.
Pulsing 1, 2, 3, etc.
All right. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna go check these lockers. Obviously, this will change line of questioning from here on out. Do you want to sit with Higgins, or is he pretty cut and dry? Or do you want to stay with Bowman Stout?
Higgins, I don't think is going to change his answer.
All right, fantastic. What a day.
Yeah.
Do get away with it. It depends on what kind of like attitude you have, a mentality, and sort of.
Are you two still dealing with that clown?
Sorry, sir. We're more.
Yeah, I'm talking through reports bit by bit, etc. We're doing like a more of a training thing rather than
Okay.
actually doing it.
All right, don't mind me. I gotta go raid a locker. Just gonna make some room in the old pockets first. That's the same pistol. Oh, no.
And there's a Glock.
Quick glance. It looks like the same one as well. It's only one Glock, right?
I'm only seeing one Glock. Multiple other firearms and such, but only the one Glock.
I'm gonna bring this to the lab just to confirm it.
I think so. I think it's probably obvious, and I'm just like trying to dig way too deep.
It's not obvious, like I said.
Hey, Hardcastle.
Hi.
Wait till you hear about our day.
I already heard about it.
All of it.
Yeah. Minerva filled me in.
Yeah, it's a fucking mess.
Oh, we just
I don't wanna
raided.
be a
We
part
just
of
we
it.
just
I don't
raided a
wanna be a part of
locker.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Last time I looked into the fucking prison, they got fucking mad because I was trying to do my job and they cried about it.
Well, who's they?
It was Crawford, Carter and whatever the fuck the other guy's name was.
Kai.
Kai, that's the guy's name.
Good times.
Now one of them is dead. Crawford's dead, and his reincarnated body of Holden's alive. So
I
that's good.
fucking hate Holden.
I also hate Holden. He is a rat pussy.
Ugh.
I think he's
You
a
might have just heard of it.
I think he's a succubus. And I tell him this to his face. He's a succubus for good police work, and he can't stand up on his own legs, and he just draws through other people's energy and power because he is a weak man. I told him this
Might
to
have
his
just heard
face.
all that. Just let you
Good.
know that.
Good. I've told him it to his face, and I'd say it again. Well, the gun in his locker is hot to the shooting.
Oof. Oh. No, thank you.
We can't not charge him. Right hand.
That's your call, not mine.
You're an asshole, you know that?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I think corruption's dumb. I didn't stand for it when I was a DOC, and I don't think the current DOC should have to stand for it. I think the standards should be of a high level, and I think if the warden can't hold himself to that, then, like McTavish and Maxwell told you, the difference between us and them is we hold ourselves back. He didn't do that, then he doesn't deserve to be one of us.
Alright, so now I
In
call
terms of
Mr.
victims,
Oh,
you
go
can
ahead.
do as good as class. In terms of victims, again,
I think we're going to have to charge Bowman and not charge Higgins. Okay. Saturday, oh, hold on. Recording on. See that?
Good job.
See, it's back on.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Stout, you good? You're conscious? You're listening, paying
Yeah, I'm here,
attention,
I'm here.
locked in the zone, ready to rumble.
Ready to roll?
All right, fantastic. Bowman. I've just taken
Yes,
a
sir.
look through the locker labeled 701. It obviously was your locker. I looked at the bottom where there was a bunch of firearms. Like you described, there was some Class 2, some relics Christmas past, some rubber-stock shotguns. And right at the bottom of the pile, well, no, I guess the bottom is kind of, they were propped up
In
next
the
to each
mid-
other. And in
yeah.
the middle, like flat against it, was one PD Glock. The PD Glock had a exact serial of 2450. Is that your state ID?
Yes.
And so how guns work is, let's say you have two PD Glocks. They would both start with 2450. Then they will be a 3-letter strain. It's always randomized. And then a 3-number strain, sometimes 2 numbers. The Glock was capital V, lower N, capital T, -30. So that's the serial number of this PD Glock that I found in your locker. The
Alright.
casings collected on scene at the skate park / Maxac at the game, where the shooting happened of one Jeremy Phillips, came back to a 2450 VNT 30.
At this time, I'd remind you.
You do have, yep,
The right to remain silent. I
100%.
suggest you do so.
Yep, you don't have to say
Remain
anything.
silent.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So, what does this mean from here? Well, it's essentially a hot gun, right? So, let's say I arrest somebody, and they got a gun on their person, and the casings, once I run them, were found at the scene of another crime. It's just like that today. You know, inside of your locker was a PD Glock. The casings from that Glock were on the scene of a crime, the crime of Jeremy Phillips's, I guess, execution, I want to call it. I think he's alive, by the way. The doctor said ICU at least a week. That's if he survives. He might die. The wounds are pretty bad. So, it means that you have a hot gun in your possession, right? Your locker is constructed possession. Everybody knows that only the owner of a locker can go inside of it because there was the whole drama with the food lockers. So because it's your locker, it's similar if it was your house. It's your possession. You know, it's your firearm that you're legally obligated as a member of the Department of Corrections to safe keep. So it's your firearm that's in there that's hot to this crime. So what follows from here is I'm probably going to have to press some charges against you for the attempted first-degree murder of one Jeremy Phillips. Now remember, just like your lawyer said, you have the right to remain silent. It's going to be just attempted first-degree murder. There's no other charges at this time that should be pressed against you. You've cooperated. It's a time of turmoil. The exact motive, you know, you haven't said it. It's not clear to us, but it is clear that something happened. Maybe a heated argument. Maybe you saw red. But Jeremy was shot with your gun.
I'll remain silent.
Fantastic. Would you like a moment with your lawyer?
I'd like a question for you. How are you getting, if you don't have any form of motive, anything other than the constructive possession, how are you getting first-degree murder and not second?
Okay, well, by motive I meant in the moment. I guess I misspoke. Like in the moment, exactly what led up to it. But there is definitely a motive given the fact that Jeremy Phillips murdered Charles Lafayette. What was it, 2-3 days ago? Apologies if my timing is wrong. I only found out about Lafayette's death 4 or 5 hours ago. Just before the funeral, I was informed. So, the murder of his best friend. He was a deputy warden, and Lafayette was a warden. They had 2 peas in a pod. They're a team. I was the previous captain of the Department of Corrections for a long time. And I worked as a team with the high command. The warden and the deputy warden were inseparable. There is a bond there. It's like a brother, a close relative. There is a clear motive, as if he was a next of kin. This wasn't some, oh, I don't like this inmate. Oh, I've got a gun. He's locked up in here. I could get away with this, right? This wasn't some, he overstepped his use of force matrix and was too violent. This was a crime of passion and a build-up over the catastrophes of the last few days. And it's led to this attempt at first-degree murder. And it pains me to have to press these charges. I mean, Bowman, we've always, you know, kind of had a similar understanding of how things should work. But it seems like you've reached a boiling point, and whatever happened today, if you remember it, if you're choosing not to say anything about it, you just snapped. You know, it pains me to see that this has happened. But that doesn't stop the fact that the law needs to be upheld. It was a conversation that myself shared with Hound over here, is the difference between us and them, as Maxwell told him way back, is that we know when to stop. We can control ourselves. We don't cross that line. We hold ourselves accountable. That's the difference between the guards and the inmates of Bolingbroke Penitentiary. And it seems like today you weren't able to hold yourself back. Do I blame you? I mean, you've been through one of the worst things ever. You lost your, not your right hand, but the right side of your body. No, it's a horrible, terrible situation where no one wins from this. And that's why he's going to get first degree.
I understand why you're pushing the charge.
Fantastic. Would you like a moment in private with your client, Mr. Stout?
What is the process going forward here? Are you going to be pushing this to the docket? Have you figured that out yet?
We have reached out to the high command of the police department, the high command of every department. I've been informed by a marshal, of the CPD to translate a captain of the Unified Police Department. The process with pressing charges against a member of the Department of Corrections is not like of an officer of the law where you would push it to the docket and it would be a case, but it is a process of you press the charges instantly. My apologies for the shots. It's just Los Santos. It is, we press the charges today. Right now. Now, if you would like to contest these charges, you would appeal them. And it would go to a court. Would go to a trial with a judge. Also, what does that mean? Your job. You're currently the warden of the Department of Corrections. Well, given the fact that you're already aware of it, we have a similar situation with a lieutenant of the Department of Corrections. The procedure coming from the deputy commissioner of the police department, who also is a direct liaison with the Senate. That's also in regards with the Department of Corrections, has informed me to just take their keys. Now, similar to most legal processes, if you get found guilty, then you're donezo. If you get found not guilty, then obviously then it would be appealed. You would probably have everything reinstated. But for the time being, Bowman, you're probably going to be removed from the Department of Corrections. Same with one Cameron Randall.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take some time to speak with him real quick before you send him up, or before you do that. Is he looking at anything? Is he going to be taken up to Bolingbroke?
I think because of the extenuating circumstances, given the fact that he is a Department of Corrections member and warden, it would probably be ill-advised to send him up to prison. Bowman, do you think you would be at risk if you were to go as a inmate inside of the prison?
Most likely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just,
I was going to say the same.
It would be a hazard, and I should honestly be charging myself for reckless endangerment doing that today, if I was to do that. So what I would do instead is bill him and parole him for the full time of parole. Given the fact he's not going to prison at all, and that's a lot of time served. And then obviously, this is a situation where it's going to go to court. It's going to be appealed. It might go up to the Senate. Who knows? Maybe it'll be stepped in by the morning. But for the time being, I think it's smart we play it safe.
Okay, so Oscar, at this time, he's going to ask you what you want to be charged, if you want to plead guilty to this. It's your decision. You can plead guilty, you can plead not guilty. If you want to fight this at all, you're going to need to plead not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
I will plead not guilty.
Fantastic.
I'm going to remind you that even with this charge, this is not extended double jeopardy if the individual passes away. It was called the delayed death exception. If he does pass away from his injuries, you would be looking at a murder charge, which would go to court. Murder always goes to court, unless you plea out. So, I would recommend pleading not guilty in this case, just because of the potentially going to court. If you plead guilty to attempted murder and then he dies, you're pleading guilty to murder.
So attempted first-degree murder
already getting time off.
Is going to be 70 months of parole. Now, I mean, buddy, you know how parole works. I don't need to explain that. But you will be billed $5,250 today. If this gets appealed and you get found not guilty, then this money will be reinstated to you. I'm sure Stout can talk to you about what else could get reinstated. Obviously, there's damages and all that jazz. But for the time being today, it's just going to be $5,250 parole for 70 months.
Stout, what should I mean, not guilty?
Yep.
Yeah, plead not guilty.
All right, fantastic.
I advise you to plead not guilty.
You can't tell him, but he can advise
Sorry,
you.
I didn't hear a question there. I was just waiting for a.
Yeah, I was just kind of like explaining.
Yeah.
All right, so there's your bill right there. Obviously, you're not cuffed to the table. We'll just walk you out. We can reclaim your possessions by the cells, And then Stout, we can move on to Higgins. This should be really quick. I'm not too worried about Higgins.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, let me trigger the recording off by leaving the room because it's motion censored and doesn't voice work for turning it off.
Wow, he's so cool. Jesus.
All right, come on, let's go. Oh, did you lock the door behind you? Is he stuck?
Yep. Come on, Bowman.
I mean, the door was locked. I couldn't.
It wasn't locked.
Voice
Come on
activation
this way.
and Remote locks.
I don't think we installed remote locks.
I mean, I've been in PD once and in here, down here. No, I haven't. I feel like I know this place better than you, Sobol.
Really?
No, probably not.
All right, reclaim your stuff right here from the local DOC.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. We'll come up to the back steps. Are you gonna be able to get a ride out of here? You're gonna be safe. Do you have someone that can pick you up?
Is Higgins still in here?
Yeah, he is. And we also drove you both down here.
Yeah, I can probably get a ride up.
If you can't, Han could help you out with a ride. There is a Abdul taxi currently around if you want that too.
Yeah, I could probably do a taxi ride actually.
All right. There's your parole right there, 70 months.
Yep.
You got all your stuff confirmed?
Yes.
All right. It might take time with the Senate and Deputy Commissioner stuff, but
yeah,
obviously those go out saying don't go on
ask
duty.
around.
Yeah.
Yep, I won't.
All right, fantastic. Do you want to go through the front or just go around the back? Front's easier, it's more street side.
Yeah, front's a bit more crowded as well.
It's all fucked, Bowman.
Is it?
Yeah, everything. I mean, like I said in there, I don't take pleasure out of doing this. I don't want to do this. And hopefully you don't feel like... Yeah. I hope you don't feel like this is the end. You know, this is a hiccup. But this is not the end. Let's say it goes to court. You get found guilty. There's always expungements, right? It's not unexpungible. There's always other jobs. I mean, heck, I was just talking to Higgins about how he could probably get a future in the EMS and he might prefer it. Because something I said to Higgins was, he explained to me about how he gave, was it Desmond, the photo and the gun. I told him it was a stupid thing, but I also told him that the life of DOC in the prison will eat at you and it is poisonous, and that the situation led him to that. You're probably going to get run over.
Oh.
Yep, there you go. That's what you get for smoking a cigarette there.
Don't smoke.
Oh yeah, Aziz also hates smoking cigarettes.
Oh. I'll stand here then, I guess.
Yeah, prison is poisonous, and I would always recommend everybody get the hell out of there. There's an expectancy of a DOC career, and it's around 3 months. Anything after that, and well, you're on board time.
Yeah, I'm approaching my
Ouch!
7th.
JK didn't hurt. Oh, that one hurt.
Yeah, I'm at 7 months. It's about that expectancy, I guess.
Take this time. Chill. Enjoy your life. Don't fuck it up. Don't do a Crawford and, you know, just because you're at one hiccup, snowball. You're gonna be okay. All right.
Appreciate it, Stubble.
All right. We're gonna go make sure Higgins is good too. Don't worry about Higgins, by the way. He should be fine.
Good to hear.
Skirt. Skirt. Fopal, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you. All right.
But yes, Stout, I am looking for a pocket lawyer.
Oh.
Yeah. Something that's not involving him.
This. Yeah.
Well, anybody I'm
blocks
represented. Oh, I'm also representing Mike on a different case, so I can't touch him right now.
Yeah, Rick's gonna be the primary. Everyone else is getting accomplice.
And then we marry.
You want to get married on top of Chulia?
Yeah.
That's not very romantical.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not? It's a scary place with lots of dangerous animals.
Oh, you're calling me a dangerous animal?
Hello, Higgins.
Oh, hold on. I accidentally said recording on when I passed the other room.
Oscar with attempted first degree.
Okay.
And he was free to go. Well, you know how it goes. He's put on parole when he was fined, but he was charged.
Right.
Hey Higgins, how's it going, pal?
Can I have some food real quick?
Yes, of course. So you didn't eat food earlier, but now you're all hungry. It has been a while. Do you need an IFAC if your tummy really hungry?
No, I'm good. I'm good with the IFAC. I don't need that. I really don't. It's
there
just
you
the
go.
food.
It's a pumpkin crisp.
And I have informed the officers of your previous statement of that you wanted to invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. If that's changed, you can let me or them know.
No, I'm good.
All right, fantastic, Higgins. So I'm just gonna lay out the situation.
Okay.
The option of charging you as an accomplice is an interesting one. But first of all, I would have liked a witness statement. You know, to understand what you saw, to understand what happened, to understand if you were an accomplice or someone who didn't really understand what happened. I'll let you know what happened, and that's the funeral ended. At some point after that, someone realized that Jeremy was outside of Gen Pod. Jeremy was then moved back into MaxSec, obviously, because he was the one that stabbed Lafayette. At some point, while Jeremy was in MaxSec, somebody walked up to him at the gate, at the fence, with a PD Glock, a pistol, a standard service pistol that DOC and PD use, and shot him at point-blank range 4 or 5 times. As that happened, there was another shooting with between DOC on the hill. As those shots were called out, lockdown started because some guards were getting stabbed in the cell block. All this commotion happened. Bowman signed off duty. Went over to his house, and then shortly after, yours and McNation's house. We're trying to understand is when you guys came together, when you guys linked up, if you left the prison together, or if you linked up after the fact. Remember, you do have the right to remain silent, and you have invoked that, but if you want to answer that, then, you know, feel free to say to me or your lawyer.
If you'd like to talk to me without them present for a little bit before that happens, we can.
Yeah, you can also do that. I don't think we have anything on Higgins.
If it's okay, I can at least answer that question.
You're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, you could be silent on all questions bar 1. You can answer, 5 questions out of 8. It's all up to you. It's question by question.
Okay. I will answer that we did link up after the prison lockdown.
So was that at your property on Joshua Road, across from Lafayette's?
Yes, sir.
Now, something to corroborate that, to help prove your innocence and prove you're not an accomplice, would possibly be a phone log. Did you guys phone each other, text each other?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, that's fine. It was reported by one of the guards that you and Bowman were seen jetting out of the prison. Did you leave the prison in your own vehicle?
And my PD Explorer, yes, because I was putting the store in it.
DOC Explorer. Was there anybody else inside of that vehicle?
No.
How shortly after the funeral did you leave the prison? Well, let me not say surely, but you know, how long was the time frame from funeral end to you leaving the prison?
If you're uncomfortable answering the question, I'll remind you that you do have your right to remain silent.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that.
All right, that's fine. Have you talked to one Jeremy Phillips at all since the murder of Charles Lafayette?
No.
When did you resign from the Department of Corrections?
I resigned because.
No, not why. When?
A win?
You don't have to answer why. That's fine, Higgins. We don't need that on the record.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes.
So while at Bolingbroke Penitentiary today, were you on duty in any capacity? What's up,
Just
Zillion?
for the funeral, yes.
Did you have any standard operating equipment on your person while on duty for the funeral?
Negative.
Your equipment while you worked at the Department of Corrections, where is it now, after your resignation?
In my evidence locker.
Would there be a PD Glock in that evidence locker?
Yes, sir.
Is that PD Glock going to be registered to you?
Yes, sir.
Are you the only person that has used that PD Glock?
Yes, sir.
In your training and experience in the DOC in the last, 15, 16, 17 months, do people ever share lethals?
No, they should have their own.
So everybody would be patrolling with their own lethal firearm registered to themselves?
Correct.
While at the funeral, were there any vehicles that were utilized as storage for food, drinks?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'll be more specific. Were any DOC Explorers utilized as kind of like a table for food for people to come and grab?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you recollect which vehicle was in the North Yard?
The DOC bus and the CVPI. I didn't catch the call sign.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to take Helen and myself into the hallway for a couple. Y'all two feel free to chit-chat.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Stubble.
Yeah, no worries. I don't think we have anything to have him as an accomplice. I think a subpoena would only just prove him not being involved rather than sticking any charges.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I think he linked up with Oscar after the situation.
And he may know what happened, but he's not incriminating his friend.
Yeah, and why would he? Then we let Higgins go, and we say it's on possible pending charges. And then we possibly subpoena Oscar and Higgins. I don't want to. Fuck, man.
I don't think.
I don't think
the only thing that we would get to charge Higgins with is if he has text logs saying that he did it.
Yeah, I think the only thing we. Well, I mean, here's the thing: felony obstruction of justice. If you know of a crime and you don't report it, right?
There's not a duty to report.
Yeah.
So even if he did know about it, in that short time frame, emotions high, he's not going to be held liable for not reporting it.
Yeah. All right, I think we just cut him free. Knock, knock.
Knock,
Yellow.
knock. Who's there?
Oh, Higgins, just so you know that these cameras, they're set up so it's pressure system. When we walk out, they turn off, but it's voice acted when I turn, when I shout, "Hey, recording on," and it turns on. So now it's on. So it's real smart technology. So whatever you guys yip-yapped about, didn't hear a thing, but whatever's saying now, it's all on tape.
Yes, sir.
There's a situation. Do you understand how hot guns work? Higgins.
Yes, I understand. Yes, I do.
So let's say if you had a gun in your apartment right now, and we raided you and you had it, and it was hot to a crime. You understand how you would be charged with that?
Yeah.
So that's something similar that's happened with Bowman today. And situation is, we get conflicting reports. Some people say that, you guys linked up after the fact. Some people are saying that they saw you leave the prison together. But it's a bunch of he said, she said. And I don't think I have any proof to prove you as an accomplice. Do you know what happened with Bowman today? I mean, you guys were at the house probably for a long time. Are you going to incriminate your own pal? No, you don't have to do that. You have the right to remain silent. So, do we have probable cause to hit you with any charges? No, I don't believe so. Like I said, it could either be a witness statement or an interrogation in regards to charges. And I don't think we got anything on you. Now, are we going to investigate what happened today? Are we going to heavily dissect, victim witness statements? Am I going to subpoena phone records? Yeah, I am. So, you're going to be released today with no charges pressed against you, but there might be future charges pressed pending the investigation.
Okay.
Now, what does this mean for, your employment? Absolutely nothing. It's kind of innocent until found guilty, all that jazz. You don't have any records, you don't have any charges on your record. If you want to suddenly apply to be a librarian and they say, hey, no felons, well, you got a clean record, all right? Doesn't mean anything.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing to worry about, at least for the time being. That's kind of everything, so let's... Oh, you want something sound?
Yeah, I will remind you that even if this situation, they do push charges for accomplice to attempted murder, if the individual does end up passing away from his injuries, you would still be looking at a first-degree murder, accomplice to first-degree murder charge.
The delayed death exception.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's pretty much, let's say, in a hypothetical where, I wasn't dealing with DOC, I was dealing with your typical criminal who's going to plead guilty. I get them attempted first, they plead guilty to it, they go to prison. 2 days later, victim dies. I now give them first-degree murder, which they already pled guilty to, right? So it's a similar situation with this is, Bowman's going to be looking at attempted first-degree murder. Now, if Jeremy dies from his injuries, that's now going to be first-degree murder. Now, if we give you an accomplice, then it's going to be accomplice to murder, which is a big crime.
What I'm trying to tell you right now is that if you do not have a lawyer and they do press these charges of attempted accomplice to attempted murder on you, I would strongly, wholeheartedly recommend not taking any deal they offer you, because the individual may pass away from his injuries. Do not plead guilty under any circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Obviously, I can't give any legal advice, but you got a smart lawyer here, Higgins.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I think that's everything that we need. If anything happens, then obviously we'll keep in touch. I'm sure you'll keep in touch with Bowman to see what's going on. You've already resigned from the Department of Corrections,
Yes,
so
sir.
we don't have to worry about anything with that.
Yeah, they still have my papers on their desk right now.
All right. Well, you have resigned, so obviously...
Yes, sir.
If you want to go back, you're going to have to reapply.
Yeah, well, I think I'm done with that prison.
No, I don't blame you. It's a toxic cesspool, poisonous. It's a hellhole.
Yeah, you and I were in the same cadet class, Stubble, so...
Yeah, It was like, what, last June, July?
Yeah.
Let's go get your stuff back and let you get out of here. You've been waiting long enough. Bowman might still be outside. He might have left. You know, he's probably going to be still chilling.
Okay.
You're complaining? Are you fucking... I fell asleep again. My bad.
L.
Yeah, you're all too familiar with those local guards, huh?
I'm not gonna miss the prison, to be honest.
I didn't.
Came back twice. I'm not coming back next time.
It's not worth it.
It's not.
The only thing it causes is just pain and misery. It's a thankless job.
It is. I've seen what it does to people. I've seen what it did to you with a certain fellow CO.
No, I didn't. Nothing happened with that. I just got to legally shoot someone.
I know.
That lady was crazy.
You're telling me.
I remember when I legally murdered James Randall's nephew right at the front of Bolingbrook.
Oh God.
My nephew.
That was something.
I bet.
I shot him.
Hey, Stal, appreciate you coming down and helping out the
happy to help.
boys. Yeah, it was good on you. Did you get the lawyer request? Is that how you came through?
Yeah, I got that. That's how I
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah, I did a clickbait lawyer request, but it wasn't clickbait. It was accurate.
It was a good one. It got me to come in.
Yeah, the problem with that is I never know if someone's responding. I'm gonna give some feedback to the old technicians.
I gave a check mark on it. Did you
I
not
don't.
see that?
No, if you're not a lawyer, you don't see that shit.
Yeah, so that's like our issue. We would love to see the be a part of that email chain. This way we can see if somebody has responded and is coming, because that would definitely help.
Okay. In the future, if I do that, I'll email if I see what.
I might just start dropping in the old lawyer request thing is like, in brackets, DM if responding.
Yeah, they'll probably do that now in the future.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing now is apparently the deputy warden position kind of cursed.
Oh, well, deputy warden and warden are currently vacant, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was gonna run, but after recent events, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no thanks.
Thanks for calling me down.
Well, Higgins, you stay safe, okay? Sure, I'll see you soon.
You guys too.
And good luck with whatever you do next. What a fucking shit show.
Dude, I wanna bang my head up against a fucking stone pillar.
Alright, I reached out to Bass, by the way, the old deputy commissioner. He just said arrest them and then take their keys.
Yeah. Come on, blood. Should do something about all that blood.
I don't know. Is there any cadets on?
I have no clue.
I could call Remming. Yo, Remming, what the fuck are you doing? Where are you?
Oh my god. Oh god.
Okay. Well, you better fucking catch them, and then when you get back to MRPD, there's blood all over this fucking floor.
Hey,
that needs to get cleaned.
Ruger. All the DPD and VPD tags getting sorted out. And I just looked in the tag channel, there's like 50 fucking messages about people shit getting sorted. Oh, this is terrible. Hey, you getting which one you going to? VPD?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Malton.
Well, you get VPD tags. All right, I
Yep,
need to
there
go
we
talk to Sergeant McNation, who is now the second highest rank in the DOC, and tell him about what's going on.
Wait, is he on duty now?
Yeah, I went in the
Ugh.
DOC command channel and
Hey, Ruger.
I called him in.
Hey, sweet.
He's on the phone currently.
Dude, this is just a complete shit show.
Oh, he's gonna call me. Oh, so Bowman allowed us to raid his locker, and inside of the locker was the PD Glock used to shoot the inmate. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame because Bowman's one of the good ones. But he went bad. Ay, ay, ay. What a shit show, guys. Radio check.
And two.
And two.
What? Come on, why are you on channel 5?
I know I'm on channel 5.
Yeah, but why?
Because, none of your business, okay? Mind your business, double.
I copy that. Did we lose you? You DOC now. 752.
Negativo, I'm still 6'5",
Alright,
These DOC
okay.
guys, though, they get too big for their britches, you know what I mean? Gotta get them in line.
Alright, copy that. Good on you. Is anybody able to make contact with McNation?
I should be in the lobby of the prison currently.
He phoned me is. He's currently on the phone. Can you tell him to get off it? Stop being a phone guy.
He should be on radio, so he should be hearing this.
Where do you want to meet McNation, Stubble?
I'm gonna pick him up.
Alright, we're coming to pick you up.
Are you being a phone guy and leaking the juicy deets before we get in person?
Okay, we will come and legally kidnap you from the locker room at the Department of Corrections.
General statement for DOC on duty right now.
You are consenting to being legally kidnapped. I hear that correctly? Okay, I have Stubble here as my witness.
Yeah, he was on the hill to the south where people like ramping from.
Alright, say that for me one more time.
DOC, be advised, Cameron Randall, Stevie PI is currently abandoned on that hill. He's safe and sound. Feel free to transport it inside of Bolingbrook.
7 to 7 again.
Troops over the company.
I've got a BMX. Just head up the hill there.
What a day. Hey, Carmine, what's up?
One of these inmates just told me that these DOC guys still
where exactly?
inmates
CVPI.
target practice. Is something you co-signed, Stubble? Seems like you had your hand.
Don't worry, that guy has quit. A lieutenant has just been probably suspended indefinitely, and I just arrested the warden. So don't worry about what's being enabled, Carmine. Yeah, don't worry about. Please don't shout that to other people. Please.
I got eyes on it.
Don't let it get out.
For you, Stubble.
Yeah, what's up?
If I want to conduct an investigation, and it leads to the prison, can a wise guy corporal stop me from doing that?
What, a DOC corporal?
Yeah, can he stop me from investigating a crime I suspect may have happened?
No, he can't do that.
Oh, he can't?
No.
What if I'm not investigating anything? What if I just want to go in there and I'm not armed and I'm a cop?
Well, at that point, you're probably committing what they call introducing contraband into government facility. At the end of the day, so pick it like this. We have jurisdiction on the outside. That's our jam, right? Anybody does some shit, we step on their toes. Now, prison, that's theirs. You know, if we go in there, we follow their rules. We follow what they say. Now, if they do something illegal, out of bounds on what they can and can't do, well, that's when we step in.
What about a docket? That whole docket thing, does that apply to DOC or can we just arrest him?
You just arrest them.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucked up.
I mean, what did I just do
What you did to the warden?
I don't know. Oh, there's a report, and it's gonna go in there.
What did he do?
Oh, check the report. It's bad. It's
Oh,
bad.
all right.
It's bad.
Alright, I thought he died. I thought the warden died.
The new one. He's been there for like 4 days.
One died. The one that's been there for 4 days did some fucked up shit and now he's... Damn. You know what? I'm gonna run for warden election and I...
You know what? You do that. I think you might win.
Yeah, I will. And then if you come and try and arrest me, I'll make sure my boys shoot you down, sir. Okay? This my luck, God, son. That was a joke, Stubble. Stubble, that was a
Okay.
joke.
All right. Better not be a criminal threat, because I'm still the shadow captain. I still got swing.
Were you flying overhead just now?
Yeah, I just landed to the front with the old helicopter. I told them on the radio. They know.
Alright, 10-4. You know they said they had permission to shoot down
They don't. I don't know who fucking told them that, but that is not true. Yeah, these guys are fucking crackheads.
But it's like Looney Tunes. I love it. I love these guys. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I can legally kill someone. They'll go for it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Todos.
Yeah, bye-bye. McNation, you're conscious?
Yeah. I got some, so I got a MRE of Hot Pockets in my vest right now.
Oh, cool. Well, good to see you, by the way.
Yeah, you too.
You afraid of heights?
Nah.
Would you like the heartwarming news or the bad news?
I will go with heartwarming first, and then I'll give him the bad.
Okay.
All right.
What is that? What heartwarming news is there? Actually, I think about it now.
Well, you weren't here